Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline, and my today's guest is Alejandra. Did I pronounce it right? I say,
Yeah, most people call me Ali, but Alejandra is fine. Yeah.
wow, I'm so happy to see you again. We were, I think, accountability partners. We had a mastermind group 2 years ago with another lady. She was in a previous podcast episode. Yes, and I'm happy to see you again. I want to introduce you to the audience. Okay. So you are the driving force behind Ellie Empowerment Coaching with the background as the certified master empowerment coach and consultant for the Procter Gallagher Institute. Alejandra is dedicated to helping individuals unlock their true potential. Armed with a master's degree in marketing, communications, and advertising, she seamlessly integrates her expertise into her coaching style, emphasizing the importance of authenticity and personal growth. Can you tell us more about your work?
So, as an empowerment coach, what I actually do is figure out exactly what is it that it's making someone, specifically women, feel stuck. At some point, the women that I've coached in the past is um, they're struggling through something in life that they've been struggling over and over. It's just become a cycle, and it all has to do with how they've been programmed, how the paradigms from the moment that they were younger. So as an empowerment coach is really figuring out what is that one thing, what is the root of the problem, what is the root of of the cause that they just keep struggling, that triggers them, that doesn't allow them to move forward at a subconscious level. So it's a lot of like really coaching from the body, from the body rather than from the head, understanding your emotions, understanding your energy, understanding what are some of the things, even diseases that keep coming up, for you to figure out and being more in touch with that, because a lot of it is like we don't realize that the cause is something that's much deeper that you haven't dealt with. So that's what I do as an empowerment coach, is really digging down and finding that the root, rather than just be putting a band-aid on top of it, like doctors do. It's really figuring out that root. And on that, because I love so much about emotions and energy and all that stuff, right? That makes us. I'm actually working on getting my PhD as a integrative doctor of integrative medicine. So even though I'm still working on it, it's still something that it relates to what I've been doing in the past few years.
Wow, it sounds fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. And what inspired you to do this work, to start, to become a coach?
It really was my own journey. For like when I was at the university, and and it's funny because it all started in the fitness side of my life, where I just was so obsessed about figuring out yeah, figuring out exactly what, to a point where I just didn't know why some women were so like so secure about themselves, but when I looked at them, I'm like, I mean, physically, they're not necessarily super attractive or super, and so I wanted to understand why. So, like, what made those women project this aura, and then there were so many other women who were gorgeous and amazing bodies, but they were so insecure. And so I just, and I started in fitness, working as a personal trainer and group fitness instructor. So I had to train, no matter what I would tell these women, like, they looked amazing. It was that they were always more conscious about themselves. So this made me, and it was a projection of how I felt at the time. So it just made me realize, like, we go through these, like, as women, we go through this programming that we're not good enough. And that just, it was it's been it that trigger a journey in me where I needed to understand, what made the difference between some women and some others, who the women who got the promotions, the women who would go out in their life and be successful, but it not necessarily came from what they looked physically, even though our society has programmed us to think that because when you're beautiful, when you're this person, you get more. And in reality, it's not the truth. It's something more, is deeper than that. So I really wanted to understand. So through all that, I came across this to become a master empowerment coach, through this journey. And that's when I realized that, there's a lot going on within us that we need to figure out, become more aware, to become closer to who we are. And my own journey, I started becoming more of, understanding what triggers me, why I feel that I'm not good enough. And so I love that, because I also saw that in other women. I could, and so I just wanted to help them, to help more women realize that there's more to life, that there's that they are capable of achieving anything they set themselves to. And it's not about, who they are, what they've done in the past, how they look, or it's more about how they're projecting themselves into this world. So I've fallen in love with that. And then, as you know, I came across Proctor Gallagher and became a consultant. And so even my work with that, it really aligns. So everything, all of what I've done, it really aligns with each other. It really helped, like it's the consistent study of personal development, growth, and how can we become our better versions of ourselves.
Wow, I love what you said about the self-image. So it reminds me of lesson 6, the book of Maxwell Maltz and
Mhm.
psychocybernetics, how you see yourself, and then yeah, and the world will reflect this to you. Wow, thank you for sharing. And you also mentioned Bob Proctor as our mentor. This is where we met. And who else inspires you in your life?
So he's definitely, Bob Proctor has been um, a huge mentor. Before him, I came across Jim Rohn, um, and I studied him for quite some time. And then, as far as women, Crystal Andrews, who's the founder of the Simply Woman Accredited Training, that where I got my Master Empowerment Coaching certification. She's someone who's mentored me throughout, just understanding that emotional, how I'm triggered, and my own journeys, right? But definitely, it's just a lot of I would say the older leaders in personal development have been people I truly admire. Some that even Napoleon Hill, right? even, though, even though I've never met him, but even Napoleon Hill, um, it's someone who I've admired. Russell Brunson, as you know, he did Think and Grow Rich. So Russell Brunson is also someone I admire. So there's a lot of people who have inspired me through this journey of entrepreneurship, empowerment, coaching.
Wow, I love that very much. Thank you for sharing. And you are an inspiration as well to so many people and to me. And my next question is, how do you inspire other people?
So really, it's truly understanding what makes you you. That's the way that I've coached people, is truly looking at all of what you've done in life, even the smallest things, that truly is proof of what you're capable of. So I love to inspire people looking at their own life and what they've achieved, because that is a way of really letting them see that they've done something in the past that have actually pushed them to do something amazing. But for them, unfortunately, we always think that other people are greater than us, so we never really think that, wow, what I've done, this small step that I've accomplished, whether it's graduating from university, whether you're the first person who graduated from university, whether you moved to another country by yourself and you really didn't know, that in itself is just a proof to you that you're capable of achieving so much more. But we're so hard on ourselves that we look for inspiration elsewhere rather than look inspiration within us. And really inspiration happens when we believe truly in what we can achieve, and that comes from proof of what we've done in the past, even when we the things we did when we were small, that you have children, right, that what, like the small achievements of, oh, they were able to climb a tree, and you're thinking, oh my god, they're just going to fall, but in reality that's proof of what they can achieve. And it's just that small steps, but we forget that. So we think that it's outside of us rather than thinking of like inside of us. And that's what I love, the way that I inspire people, or the way that I motivate people to start, whether it's reaching different levels in their lives, is really looking at what they've done so far and what it would be their next level if they allowed themselves and if they believe in themselves.
Wow, this is amazing. Thank you so much for telling us. And what are your gifts and talents?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
What are your gifts and talents?
What are my gifts and talents? I would say that's a um I would say that my gift is my ability to always be the devil's advocate. It's really looking at an argument in two ways rather than always take one person's side. It's something that a lot of people will always go one side, and then it's like I'm always more of like the gray. It's like, yes, but always looking at the person's point of view. It's looking at, like, hey, let me get out of like myself, and just really looking at a situation and really figuring out, okay, look at the gray area. No one is right or wrong, right? So it's really like stepping out and never judging people by their, like, never really judging people by their 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 cover.
Mhm.
Is that the proper
Yeah.
way of saying it? But
Appearance.
really,
Mhm.
sorry,
Appearance.
yeah, their
Or the
appearances is more
yeah.
like,
Oh,
really, yeah, like allowing people to have that space where I can, like, not judge, and being able to look at two sides, really trying to to understand the other person's point of view. um I would say it's a gift, and sometimes it can be something that is not, doesn't help me, but it's always having that attitude, like, the side is always like the positive side rather than looking at the drama. uh,
mhm.
it's, people say, but you're always so, like, people say it's a bad day. It's like, not really. I mean, there's good that happened, and really looking at the positive of things rather than the negatives. I would say that I'm an empath in a way,
Mhm.
that I'm able to connect myself with energy, that I'm able to figure out people's energy, understand people's moods. And so when I relate with others, that also can be a like, can be against me, because I block myself when I feel a negative energy. So
Mhm.
so I would say that that's a gift on itself, because I truly understand a person. Like, I won't bother someone that is not necessarily needs to be bothered at the time, because they already, they already put a how do you call it, a um
But
barrier,
yeah.
yeah, like a box in front of them. Um so that, I would say that's a gift, and really listening, letting, so.
Oh, I love it. I love what you said. And also about the different perspectives, and you point them out. And sometimes it's uncomfortable for the other person, of course, but we have to be honest to ourselves as well. So my next question is, we learn in lesson 1 of thinking into results, we learn how to set goals and worthy goals as well. So do you set goals, and what is your goal for 2024?
So I love that, because it's something that it's been ingrained in my mind, and what is it that I want to accomplish. And um I definitely have achieved success in my career, professionally, in marketing, but what I do want it, but I truly want to achieve is being a full-time coach, doing what I love. Plus, that also implies that I do want to become to get my bachelor's in holistic. That's the first step. Bachelor's, and then I get master's and then PhD. So just taking that step, getting my bachelor's this year so I can move on master's and PhD the next. And really like replacing my full-time income with my coaching income, and truly start creating more mini courses and creating a community of professional women, grow that, where at least I have 10,000 in my community by the end of this year. So then that way I can, yeah, I truly want a following, not necessarily clients, but people who are part of my tribe.
Mhm.
So that's impacting them in different ways. But definitely my major goal is completely going into full-time coaching.
Wow, I love that very much. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, I will follow you, of course, and be part of the 10,000. I love it. Please reach out to Ellie. She's amazing. And now I have one last question for you. You already mentioned your mini courses or and your coaching as well. Do you have special offers and services for the Inspired Podcast community?
Yeah, I would definitely look into doing discounts as part of your community. Yeah. So with my coaching, specifically my coaching package, I definitely would love to provide a discount. So um,
Ooh.
if you want more details about the discount, I can provide that to you.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you so much. And we had this in previous episodes. We used the word inspired, the code
mhm.
word inspired when people reach out to you, and then we know that they are coming through this podcast. Wow, I'm so happy we did this. Thank you so much. And if you have a last message for our audience, this would be really great.
One of one message I always love to give is, you just find your clarity. What is it that you truly want to accomplish in your life? What is the it's not necessarily saying I want to achieve, like what I
Mhm.
just said. It's like I want to become a full-time coach, but what does that mean for me is having that flexibility, is being able to wake up every morning and being able to give my time to my daughters and getting emotionally attached with that goal, where I know that by having that flexibility, I can coach and set my time based around my time with my girls, because they are my why. But it's like setting those income goals. What does that mean? Is okay, so I want to replace my full-time coaching with my full-time my full-time work with my coaching. What does that mean? 10,000 a month, just to get started, and then just go from there. But it's really being clear on what is it that you want to achieve, and take decision right away, and take actions every single day, even if it's just a small action. Because as like one of the things that happens is that we don't take action and we just let it go, and then and it has happened to me. But it's just take that action, and go with the ride, with the momentum. And um because otherwise, whatever you dream you have, you if you quit, that
Mm.
you'll regret it in life. So that's my message.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. This was so inspiring. I enjoyed our interview. I hope you too.
Yeah, I always love talking to you, so thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you. You're welcome. And see you in the next episode.